It is a Sunday evening. Sophie is sitting at her kitchen table, laptop open, a glass of water going warm beside her. She has just made the last payment, $6,500, 20 months of $400 a month, $1,440 in interest, for money she had already spent once. She closes the bank app, for the first time in 20 months. The credit card balance reads 0. She sits with that for a moment. Then she opens a new tab. Sound familiar? Because here is what nobody tells you about the moment the balance hits 0. That moment is not the finish line. It is the most financially dangerous window of your entire debt payoff journey. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why. And the one move that closes that window before it costs you everything you just built. 68% of people who pay off a credit card have it maxed again within 2 years. Not some people, not the careless ones, not the ones who were never serious about it. 68%. That is not a spending problem. That is a mechanism, a documented psychological mechanism with a name, and the credit card industry built its entire profit model around the moment it fires. The mechanism is called reward substitution, and once you understand how it works, you will never look at debt payoff the same way again. Here is what is actually happening inside the 68%. For 20 months, Sophie organized her entire financial life around one goal. Every discretionary decision, the dinner she did not go to, the trip she postponed, the thing she saw and put back on the shelf, was filtered through one question: does this help me pay off the card? That goal gave her financial behavior a structure it did not have before. The debt was not just a financial obligation. It was a psychological organizing principle, a frame that made every spending decision automatic. The card is not paid off. So no, this is what I call the cycle thinker. Not because they are undisciplined, because the debt is doing all the discipline work for them. The goal is the constraint, and for 20 months, that constraint was working. The moment the card hits 0, the constraint disappears. Psychologists Janet Polivy and C. Peter Herman documented what happens next. They called it the what the hell effect. When a person achieves a restriction goal, weight loss, debt payoff, any long-term deprivation target, the brain interprets the achievement as permission to relax the restriction. The goal was the constraint. The achievement removes the constraint. The card is paid off. The restriction is over. And the spending that was suppressed for 20 months does not disappear. It was always there. It was just being held back by the goal. Now the goal is gone. But here is who was watching. Within days of your credit card hitting 0, sometimes hours, the credit card company sends you an offer, a limit increase, a rewards upgrade, a new card with a 0% introductory rate. This is not a coincidence. Credit card companies track payoff events in real time. The moment your balance clears, they know 2 things simultaneously. First, you just demonstrated you can make $400 of monthly payments consistently for 20 months. Second, your spending suppression has just ended, and reward substitution is about to fire. They are not offering you a limit increase because they want to help you. They are offering you a limit increase because they know what the 68% do next, and they want to be the vehicle it happens through. Here is what reward substitution actually looks like in practice. Sophie does not reload the card on day 1. She reloads it over 14 months. It starts with the trip she postponed, a reasonable reward after 20 months of discipline. Then the home upgrade she had been putting off. Then the social invitations she had been declining. Each individual decision is reasonable. Each one feels earned. Each one is small enough that it does not trigger the alarm that the original $6,500 balance would have triggered. But the card does not know they are small. This is how you stay a cycle thinker without ever making one large, reckless decision. You make 20 small, reasonable ones. And at 14 months, Sophie checks the balance. $4,200. She is back inside the mechanism. Before she knew the mechanism had started. Now here is the math. 2 complete debt cycles on $6,500 at 24% interest, paid off at $400 a month, reloaded, paid off again, costs $15,879. You paid $15,879 For a zero balance, you had 20 months into the first cycle, but that is not the number that should stop you cold. $400 a month, invested instead, 20 years at 7%, $209,000. The cost of one reload, the 20 months of investing lost plus the second cycle's interest, is $32,000. Not the debt itself, the compounded future value of the months you spent paying it off a second time. Instead of building with the freed payment, $32,000. From one Sunday evening when the new tab opened before the transfer was set up. So what separates the cycle thinker from the compound thinker? Not willpower after payoff. Willpower after payoff is exactly what the hell effect destroys. The brain that just completed 20 months of restriction does not have more willpower at the finish line. It has less. The constraint that was doing the discipline work is gone. You are most vulnerable at the exact moment you feel most victorious. The only thing that works is closing the 48-hour window. Here is what that means. In the 48 hours after the last payment, the freed payment must be redirected before the brain experiences it as available income. Not eventually. Not after the celebration. In the 48 hours after the balance hits zero, the $400 needs a new destination. That is equally automatic and equally non-negotiable as the credit card payment was. An automated investment transfer. The same day the credit card payment would have come out. The same amount. Set up before the balance hits zero if possible. After it if not. But within 48 hours. This is called payment redirection. It works for one specific reason. The compound thinker never experiences the $400 as freed income. It was always going somewhere. The restriction never lifted. The what the hell effect never fires. Because the permission signal, the goal is complete. The constraint is removed. Never arrives. The credit limit increase offer lands in the inbox. The compound thinker already has an automated transfer running. The freed payment already has a destination. The window is closed. Sophie set up the automated transfer the day she made the last payment. 48 hours after the card hit zero, $400 moved automatically into an investment account. She still felt the relief of the zero balance. She still celebrated. But the $400 was never available to spend, because it was never in her spending account. 14 months later, she opened the bank app and checked the credit card balance. Zero, not 4,200, not back inside the cycle. Zero. And for the first time, she understood the difference between finishing a debt and escaping one. Finishing a debt gets you to zero. Escaping one closes the window before the mechanism fires. I want to come back to that Sunday evening. Same kitchen table, same glass of water going warm, same last payment made, same zero balance on the screen. But this time, Sophie does not open a new tab. She opens the bank app and sets up the transfer. $400. Automated. First Monday of every month. Investment account. Done in 4 minutes. And 14 months later, when she opens the app again, the card is still at zero. Not because she wanted it to stay there more than the 68% wanted it to stay there. Because she understood that the payoff is not the moment the work is done. The payoff is the moment the window opens, and she closed it before the cycle could walk through. Who are you when the balance hits zero? And you already know what the next 60 seconds need to look like. Because that person, the one who redirected before the mechanism fired, who gave the freed payment a destination before the brain found one, who became a compound thinker in the same moment the cycle ended, that person compounds too.